Good morning. Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living's morning meditation. My name is Margie Salmons, and I'm a practitioner and ministerial student here in Columbus, and I am honored to bring you meditation this morning. So as we start this meditation today, I encourage you to just breathe deeply and relax. If you're comfortable with it, close your eyes and allow my words to be your words as we journey into the space of the heart. I let all the tensions from the week melt away as I breathe deeply, creating my own rhythm. I breathe in and I breathe out, always thankful for this breath of life. My breath moves like the waves of the ocean, deeply, powerfully, yet relaxing. My breathing mimics the waves as the wind moves over the water's surface, moving me forward with each inward breath and cresting as I exhale. I am one with the rhythm of the sea. And as thoughts come into my mind, I simply bless them and send them on their way. And as I relax, I begin to feel myself turning within. I can see and feel the vortex begin to turn, beginning its descent. And I lovingly twirl around slowly at first, and then more quickly, enjoying the motion. I easily and effortlessly flow within this vortex as it brings me down into the depths, down into the center of my being. I relax in the movement. I relax in the arms of spirit as I am carried into my heart space. For there I feel the warmth and the light of pure love. In this space, there is no veil. There is no fear. There is no judgment. There is no thought. Here I am. And so I rest in this space. For when I am here, I am connected. When I am one with the one, I know the truth of who I am. I know the truth of all life, as it is a divine flow of spirit expressing. In this holy space, I am held in the arms of God. I am safe. So I look at those experiences that I have held as negative. I see them and bless them, for I know that in this world, all that happens to me happens for me. I know that I cannot fathom the divine plan behind what I see as chaos. And so I take the time to bless these experiences and look for the gifts I have received, even within these trying times. In this holy space, I am held in the arms of God. I remember that we are all held in the arms of God. I know the love of the one, the divine mind, and I can forgive. So I take the time right now in this sacred space to forgive those I need to forgive and to bless them. And I forgive myself as well. In this holy place, deep within me, I recognize the blessings in my life. I feel the love of family and friends from past to present. I know God in all of those unnoticed everyday experiences that pass so quickly. And I marvel in the people and events that enrich me when I take the time to remember. In this holy space, I am held in the arms of God. I am safe. I am loved. I am free. And as I breathe in and out, my heart is lighter. I am lighter. I forgive. I let go. And I love. I know that I can return here anytime I need the comfort, anytime I need to center myself. And so I slowly begin the ascent up from this deep, holy space back into my physical space. I rise up through the depth like a bubble of air from deep below the surface of the water, ever rising slowly and deliberately, lighter than the stuff left behind. As I move up to the surface, I become more aware of my physical body. I stretch and I feel the seat beneath me, the room around me. And as I move forward into my week, I will remember to love, to let go, and to forgive. Namaste.
Good morning. Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Ann Strayer. I am a licensed religious science practitioner, and I'll be giving you the announcements today. Everyone is invited to the Zoom Sunday celebration, and our services will be live streamed to our YouTube channel at Columbus CSL. We will post the video later to our Facebook page. Please feel free to share our service from our YouTube channel to your own Facebook page. For everyone on Zoom with us today, please feel free to turn on your videos so we can see each other, and please keep yourself muted. Thank you. Everyone is invited to our next Open Hearts Open Mic Night on Friday, February 12th from 7 to 9 via Zoom. Watch for your upcoming CCSL Weekly Word e-newsletter for the Zoom link. You can also find the link on our Facebook page. Would you like to share your amazing talent at the upcoming Open Hearts Open Mic? Contact Jim Hetzer at jahetzer@sbcglobal.net. Everyone is invited to join us for our new monthly community meetings that will take place on the second Sunday of each month. They will follow our Sunday celebration using the same Zoom link beginning at 12 p.m. There will be a variety of topics covered each month, and everyone will have the opportunity to join in for a Q&A segment. This meeting will not be broadcast on YouTube. We now have a suggestion box that you can send your ideas, feedback, suggestions, etc. Email them to ccslsuggestionbox@gmail.com. Your feedback is always welcome and appreciated. You are the face of God. Help us share shining eyes, shining smiles, sparkling eyes, and the community spaces, masks or no masks. We will show this on our Sunday celebration. Please send us a picture of yourself, and you can send your pictures to robin@spirituallivingcolumbus.org so we can share the faces of God in our virtual Sunday celebration. If you would like prayer anytime after service or throughout the week, you can find our practitioners on our website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our website. That's the news for today. Let's all sing our opening song.
Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. Speak your mind. Show them who you really are. Show them you're a shining star of brilliant light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. The week was long, but now we're lighting up so bright. Our open hearts show the love we feel inside, and this happiness we share with you. Open up and be yourself. Open up and free yourself and shine that light. Open up and be yourself and shine that light. Open up and free yourself and shine that light.
Thank you, Carisa. Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Amy Papadopulo, and it's my honor and pleasure to be here today with you. Excuse me, I was on the wrong part here. We are an inclusive organization that welcomes everyone, no matter where you are on your spiritual journey. No matter where you are, no matter who you are welcome here. Thank you for joining us this morning on our Zoom, in Zoom. And also thank you for joining us if you're watching on YouTube at our channel, Columbus CSL. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please do so now. And remember to give it a thumbs up and to ring the bell. Also, a recording of today's service will be posted later on to our Facebook page. So will you please read our mission statement along with me? We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. So I'd like to thank practitioner Margie Salmons for the beautiful meditation this morning and also for holding a virtual high watch for our service today. And I'd like to reintroduce practitioner Ann Strayer. Ann?
Thank you, Amy. And with the ringing of the bowl, we begin our sacred service. I would like to introduce our community member, Matt Vidal, who will be giving us today's reading. Matt?
Good morning. Today's reading is from Eckhart Tolle. Unease, anxiety, tension, stress, and worry, all forms of fear, are caused by too much future and not enough presence. Guilt, regret, resentment, grievances, sadness, bitterness, and all forms of non-forgiveness are caused by too much past and not enough presence.
Thank you, Matt. And now let the music take us within.
Unfolds like a flower.
here and now. How good it is to know there is one infinite spirit operating through an infinite and immutable law. I call it God, and it is good. And how good it is to know that this infinite spirit operates in and through me as it does in and through all beings. It is demonstrated here and now through ever expanding technology, the inspirational words, and the beautiful music, and the beloved members of our community, as hope, joy, love, forgiveness, and understanding, and unity. And for all of these things, I am eternally grateful. So I simply release this prayer into that infinite and immutable law, knowing it or something even better is already done. And so it is.
I am living here and now. All I am to be unfolds like a flower. I am living. All is here and now. All I am to be, Spirit will show me how.
Thank you, Carissa and Tony. Your music and your voice is just so beautiful. Thank you. And the song was perfect. So good morning. This month for the Centers for Spiritual Living, the theme for the year is timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. And if a center chooses to, it can use the information provided by Home Office as the weekly theme and the weekly talking points. And then there's also a journal. I just saw Anne had her journal up. Anne has her journal, thank you. So you can get a journal through Home Office and take notes about what kind of inspires you or questions you have as you listen to the talks. So the idea is that if you go to, actually probably if you watch, I should say, any of the other CSL communities talks, that if they're choosing to use those themes, that you'll hear just about the same thing everywhere you go. So today's theme, just like the music was today's theme is here and now. So the very first week of January, I talked about how life is like a snow globe and how everything is contained within that one system being God. The second week in January, I talked about how to use Byron Katie's The Work to create a world that works for everyone, one person at a time, starting with me. And how are we storming our own capital? This week, I'm going to talk about the power of now and how principle is not bound by precedence. So I'd like to invite you right now to think about your life. Take a moment, kind of take stock of where you are. And I invite you to think about where you are in your relationships with others and to yourself. Think about where you are as far as health. Think about where you are as far as spirituality. Think about where you are in your finances. And think about where you are in your job, career, or your work. So think about all of those relationships. Great time to do it if some of us do it at the beginning of the year. And as you go through your mind and you think about those areas, I invite you to really take a genuine look. Think about those. Also, I'd like to invite you to think about where you are in relation to this community, to Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. And then also think about where you are in your relationship to the broader community. You could even go out of your neighborhood, of Columbus, of the United States, and your community in the world. Now, let's bring it back from the bigger view down to that smaller view. Let's take it back to ourselves. And let's take a deep, genuine look where we are with ourselves right now. And I like to think of this work as we're doing this, kind of like we did last week, is as a practical spirituality. Like, what can we do as individuals to make an impact in the world, to make an impact on society? What is our job? What impact can we have? That's really what I'm talking about today. So in Centers for Spiritual Living, we envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence. Also, in Centers for Spiritual Living, we envision humanity discovering the creative power of thought. For a world where each and every person discovers his or her own personal power and the ability to create in our individual lives that work within a world that works for everyone. And notice this last part, the ability of all humanity to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. And one of our principles, in our declarations of principles, one of our principles says, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be complete emancipation from all discord of every nature. And this goal is sure to be attained by all. And to be completely emancipated, to completely be free of discord, to be completely free, emancipated of conflict or of contention of any nature, not just one or two, but our declaration is that this idea of being free from all discord, all of it is possible. And it's possible for all of us, not just those who practice religious science, not just those who attend our centers or in our movement, but of all people, no matter what spirituality, no matter what religion a person practices, that this is possible for all of us, that the ultimate goal of life is to have complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and it's sure to be attained by all. I remember when I first heard this for the first time, when I really heard it, I was taking classes, and it was really then that I was in a place where I could hear it and that I could imagine that this idea be possible. Like, is it really possible to be free of all discord of all kinds? Like, really? And it was when I was taking classes, it was like that idea, there was something within me that said, yeah, it is possible. And I loved that part. That was probably my favorite declaration. And it probably is, that is one of my favorite declarations. One of my favorite things about this philosophy is that we can be free. You know, we all have a word. We all have a word that describes what we want for our life, what we want out of life. And I think those words can change, but I think that we all have a word that we want. And my word has always been freedom. I want to be free. That's my word. And let's see. When I started in this philosophy, gosh, 20 plus years ago, I wasn't free. And I didn't know I wasn't free. And I didn't even know that I had the idea that I wanted freedom. And I grew up in a really very typical, I grew up in Columbus. I grew up in a very typical American household in the 70s, kind of Campbell's soup like. That's what I think of my childhood, like Campbell's soup, chicken noodle soup. But growing up in a society and listening to the society, the ideas of society, I had this incessant chatter in my head. And I thought that that incessant chatter in my head was the truth. I thought what my brain told me was real, because I didn't know that I had the choice to separate that. So when I came into Science of Mind, back then called religious science, this idea of being free, you know, I always thought that freedom was like freedom from out there, freedom to do something that I wanted to do because somebody was, you know, keeping me down. But ultimately, what I found for me is that freedom is from the biggest freedom for me personally in this philosophy, how I apply it to my life, is freedom from myself. Freedom, a lot of times, from my own incessant chatter. And at first, my freedom was, no, you're not your thoughts. You're not what your thoughts tell you you are. Because, you know, growing up in the 80s, it was, you know, your hair's not big enough. You don't have enough neon on. You don't have enough of those plastic bracelets. I see Tony flipping his collar up. Yeah, you don't have your collar flipped up on the Oxford with the polo underneath. Right? You don't. And so I started to meditate and I started to practice this philosophy. Actually, I started to practice philosophy before I started to meditate. And what I found was eventually freedom from the expectations. And I'm still working on this part, honestly. Freedom to dream, freedom to pursue my dreams, freedom to be joyful, freedom to be happy. The freedom to, I think, is just as powerful as the emancipation from. What it reminded me of as I was writing this talk is that very well-known quote from Marianne Williamson. And I'm going to read it because I don't think, I know for me, I don't think I can hear it enough. So Marianne Williamson says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That was from Marianne Williamson, and it reminds me of our Declaration of Principles. As we are liberated from our own fears, as we are emancipated from discord, then we have the freedom to shine. This is really what the science of mind teaches us. Really, science of mind teaches that God is everywhere in everything, like that snow globe within one system, and that God is those qualities that Thomas Troward says: light, love, life, beauty, wisdom, power, and abundance. And so if there is only one, and if we are all an emanation of that, then that's our true nature. In the textbook, Dr. Holmes tells us the divine mind is infinite. It contains all wisdom and knowledge. But before it can reveal its secret, it must have an outlet. You are the outlet. I am the outlet. I think about it like as energy. So sometimes I think it's in the foundations class, we talk about God as is like electricity. It's always there. It always works. As long as you have the wiring right, right? But it's always there. And when you flip the light on, or you flip the switch up, the outlet that the light is plugged into turns on. But you have to flip the switch. It's the same thing with God. We have to open up to that divine. We open and we become the outlets for all of that life, love, light, beauty, power, wisdom, and abundance. Now, one of the talking points in the Home Office put out about letting our light shine says, as we look around in this present time, we might see that we have not been good caretakers of this amazing thing called life. But it's time for us to put our ancient wisdom and knowledge to use. And I just want to be clear. I just want to explain that the talking points for 2021 were written in 2020. So there's no way, actually, I don't know that that's true. I highly doubt that anyone knew what was coming a couple weeks ago when they wrote all these things. So there's no way I can know for sure. That would be my guess. So let's go back to Thomas Troward. He was an English lawyer that Ernest Holmes read and greatly influenced Holmes. One of the things that Troward says is, principle is not bound by precedent. This is another part of this philosophy that sometimes when I grab a hold of what that really means, it feels like sand falling through my fingers. Like sometimes I can grab a hold of it and then sometimes I lose it. Principle is not bound by precedent. What that means is this: regardless of what has been our experience in our personal lives, or the life of our country, or the life of our planet, it cannot prevent us from moving forward unless we let it. Basically, it means principle, that which creates through us. Principle, we are the outlet for spirit. We are the outlet for principle, that cause and effect. We are the way it looks back at itself. Principle, God, life, that which creates through us, because it can only do, Holmes tells us, it can only do for us what it can do through us, creates through us. So as spirit moves through us as an outlet, if principle is not bound by precedent, precedent is a pattern of what has come before. A pattern of what has come before. So just because it happened this way before, over and over and over again, it doesn't mean it's going to have to, doesn't mean it's going to act that way again. Principle is infinite. God is infinite. That divine potentiality, we can choose something new over and over and over. It doesn't mean it's going to be the same way. That principle of law, that law of God is not going to show up that same way. It doesn't have to. It's not bound by that precedence. That's why sometimes when I grab a hold of this, I can do this different. I can have a different outcome. I know that, and sometimes I grab a hold of it and it slips through my fingers because my human brain is so used to seeing this pattern. So it's something I have to practice. Or, like a new thought, I have to grab a new thought. When we can get a new thought, something new can happen. And like I said, just because it's happened that same way in the past doesn't mean it's always going to happen the same way in the future. God is bigger than any precedent. God looks back at itself through us as its outlets. Holmes also tells us that spirit can only give us what we can take. And that that trained thought is much more powerful than untrained thought. That God can only give us what we can take, and trained thought is much more powerful than untrained thought. So I ask you to think about your thoughts. What training have you been giving your thoughts? If we have thoughts that we're training that there's lack or limitation or fear, then we're training those thoughts, and those are powerful thoughts. But if we're training our thoughts, the universe is always for me. I am always safe. I am always provided for. I am guided, guarded, and directed. I am an inlet and an outlet for spirit. We train those thoughts. It's kind of like if we want a new thought or we want a new experience, we have to train that. It's like training a muscle. It's like our arm works like this. And the more we do this with our arm, the more we train our muscle. It's the same thing with our thoughts. So if we've been thinking thoughts of lack or fear or distrust, then that muscle is going to be strong. And when we shift to a more productive, more life-affirming thought, we get to train that thought. And that thought in the beginning is not going to be as powerful as the other one. So this too reminds me of that the principle, one of the principles, that principle of the ultimate goal of life is complete emancipation from all discord of every nature. Because we can have freedom from our thoughts. We could do that through spiritual study, through taking classes. We can do that through meditation. When we meditate, it's good to know that our brains, the function of our brain is to create thoughts and to think. So when we sit in meditation, the goal is to let those thoughts go. And we're going to have thoughts when we sit in meditation because that's just what the mind does. But when we sit in meditation, it's been my experience that I have more space between those thoughts. And it brings me to the power of now. The more I meditate, the more I am able to be in the moment during the day. Holmes also tells us that the power is already within us, that we must acknowledge it and be confident in using it. And the only time we can do this is in the now. The power from the past has no power over us. It's already been used. The power in the future is waiting for us. Where we have our power is right here, right now. So the idea is bringing all of our awareness, all of our presence to this moment in time. It's what Matt read to us. Unease, anxiety, tension, stress, worry, all forms of fear, all in the past. And they're unease, anxiety, tension, stress, and worry, all forms of fear are caused by too much future, not enough presence. That's what it is. Guilt, regret, resentment, and grievances, sadness, and bitterness, all forms of non-forgiveness, too much in the past. Anxiety, too much in the future. Regret, shame, too much in the past. Now is the present time. Now is where the present is. And we can really use our breath to bring us into the now. So let's all take a deep breath right now. Breathing into this moment, breathing into this presence, breathing into the power of now. The breath of God is that breath that we breathe. The presence, the freedom, the nowness. Just like Marianne Williamson said, the light is our power. It's about freedom. It's about discord. It's about freedom from discord. How are you thinking about your life? What thoughts are you thinking? Thoughts are powerful. What are you thinking about your relationships, your health, spirituality, finances, vocation? Remember, principle is not bound by precedence. Just because it happened a certain way in the past doesn't mean it has to happen that same way in the future. We're a new thought philosophy. Get a new thought. We're not a new age philosophy. We don't need a new age. We need a new thought. We can't change what we see, but we can change the way we see it. Life is like that snow globe, everything within a system. You could use Byron Katie's work to get your mind straight. Use the power of now, the power of the breath, the power of the presence to shift out of the past, out of the future. Now, meditation, spiritual study, calling a practitioner, getting prayer, journaling, being aware. This is how we create a new life. This is how we become aligned with the principle that we teach is that the universe is always for us, that God is our source, and that we are the way God looks back at itself as itself. If you have anything heavy on your heart, reach out to a practitioner for prayer. They also provide spiritual coaching sessions. Reach out to me, reach out to your friend, especially during this time of COVID, where we're in our homes, where we're on Zoom. Support, love, blessings, power, and freedom. I claim it. So let's move this into prayer. So it's in this place of alignment. It's in this place of absolute knowing in my bones that within that snow globe, it is one system. It is one confined system of good, of God, of life, of light. And it is true for each and every one of us on this planet. And I speak my word right here and right now for each and every person in this Zoom meeting, in this service on YouTube. I claim freedom from discord of every kind. I claim a choosing of those powerful thoughts that create our lives in a way that we let our life shine. I turn away right here and right now from anything that looks like fear of our light, fear of other, fear of any and all. I turn away and instead I turn back towards that truth with that capital T for each and every one of us, that we have a life that is filled with love and power and beauty and light and life and abundance and well-being and connection. And I also speak a word of blessing on this beloved community, that we are here by divine appointment, that we practice this philosophy, that we embody this philosophy, we take it into our bones and we live it in our lives. And our lives are good, and more good and better because of this community, because of this philosophy. And I absolutely know that on behalf of each and every person here this morning. And I am so grateful to know that it is done, so grateful to know that my breath is the breath of God. I'm so grateful. And so I let it go into that law that always says yes, that returns back to me, pressed down, shaken up, and overflowing with good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And together we say, and so it is. So let's all take another deep breath here. It's nice to see people on Zoom taking a deep breath. I know that works really well for me. So now it is the time for the giving of our gifts. Thank you in all of the ways that you continue to support the center, that you continue to support all of us at the center, that we continue to support you as we engage in that law of circulation. We are honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually. We appreciate your gifts, your donations, and your tithes. All of that is important because it helps us to fulfill our vision of a world that works for everyone. And so as we engage in that law of circulation, we remember that God is our source, and we are simply circulating Spirit's energy through the form of money by giving and receiving. So please say our affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns back to me, multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
If you were wondering where you were wandering, then be here now. All that there is to give and all you can receive is right here now. So be here now. Just be here now. If you would like to grow your love and let it show, then be here now. The love that's yours to give and to receive and live is right here now. So be here wondering, then be here now. All that there is to give and all you can receive is right here now. So be here now. Just be here now.
Thank you, Carissa. Recognizing that there is only one, and this one is infinite energy, God, and it is available right here now, as it is always. And this energy is source and supply, and it flows through me and to me. And as it circulates, it tingles with delight. So I open and say yes, claiming prosperity for our community, because prosperity is freedom. And I express deep gratitude for each giver and each gift, knowing many blessings come from both. I give thanks for the evolving technology that expands this law of circulation. And it feels good. So resting in this goodness, I let it go to the infinite law, knowing this and something even more awesome is already done. And together we say, and so.
And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Oh, feels so good. Musicians, oh, so lovely to have you here. So before I thank all the people that have been involved with service, I just want to acknowledge Robin. Robin had a work anniversary the past week or 2 weeks ago. So Robin, if you will turn your camera on, we would like to say thank you. She has been working in this position for 9 years. Yay, Robin. Thank you. 9 years. We're so blessed to have you. Yes. Thank you. So now I'd like to thank our practitioners, Margie Salmons for the beautiful meditation and for holding high watch, and Strayer for being here with me today as a practitioner of the day, Matt Vidal for our reading today, and our song leader, Carisa Holmes, along with the center trio, Tony Bernardi on piano, Joe Nelson on drums, Steve Baracus on bass. Carissa, Tony, and Joe and Steve have all collaborated their musical talents to write the music for today. I'd also like to thank Jae Westfall and Robin Brookhouse for helping with the slides today, and our Zoom moderator, which I'm not sure, I think that was Jay. So thank you all for everything that you all do to make this service happen. If you are visiting us for the very first time and you want more information, we would love to send you a welcome packet in the mail. Please contact our office or send us a private Facebook message. Also, if you are not receiving our weekly newsletter, please contact the office, or you can also send us a private Facebook message. So that is all for today. Please say our blessing with me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is.
You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with need to be afraid, no, no. You are a star of the brightest kind, the most high. Oh, you and me, we got luminosity. We are nothing if not hotter than the sun. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. And deep in the moonless night, when you cannot see the sun, may you be the one to carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. You carry the light with you everywhere you go. Let it shine, let it shine. Peace and blessings be present in the now this week.